Welcome to part 6 of this book right here. Also, subtly, not subtly, modeling this beautiful, gorgeous TYG shirt from abhorror.com. We could be matching. Anyway, I love popping my dinner in the air fryer right as I'm talking about human slaughtering. Let's go. Alright, so Krieg's just like, yo, Sergio, can you, kill somebody for us? Yeah, dog, no, I got you. I am pretending this is a large stick. The club. Sergio, dressed in this hazmat gear with the gloves, the rubber boots, the mask, the stuff to protect from the blood, walks into the little room, gets up the ladder on the podium, and they bring in a 20-year-old female. So into this room is brought a shy, naked 20-year-old female into the stun room. She's shackled and scared. Sergio, dressed in all of his hazmat gear, pats her on the head, and Marcos is looking into the glass window and he sees him. Marcos sees through the window that Sergio begins singing or saying something gentle to the female to calm her down. And then just like that, he bashes her over the head. She falls unconscious, goes limp, and then she is then chained up onto a rail system and then carted upside down by her ankles into the slaughter room. And now we go on to the next room for the slaughter. Sergio comes out of the room and he's like, "How did I do?" "You crazy son of a bitch, you did great." "Ha, I know, I'm great at my job." "Damn, should we let the new guys try stunning?" "Absolutely." The short, eager applicant jumps on the chance and he's like, "I'm gonna use the club, this is great, I'm gonna do it." Taller guy's just a little... Do I have to? Sergio grabs the guy by the shoulders and he's like, to the eager dude, "If you've killed them with the club, you've ruined the meat. If you don't knock them out, and they're alive when they're slaughtered, you've ruined the meat. You're not ready for the club. You can use the pistol. The club is for years of experience and knowing what you have to do." The short dude just, in one ear, out the other, pew, doesn't care. He just wants to murder somebody. He just wants to kill someone for the thrill. Marcos is eyeing this dude up and down and he's like, "This man doesn't seem right. He is dangerous and unstable." He suspects that this guy is a fake applicant because I guess this happens quite often. He's just here to witness murder for his spank bank. This man is a little too excited to see death. Now we catch a glimpse of the blood draining process. The applicant asks, "What do you guys use the blood for once it's out of the body?" The taller applicant, who is actually visibly pale and a little queasy, "Cow blood used to be used for fertilizer." This man hasn't really spoken much. Everybody stops. Side the eye. "I'll explain. My father used to work in the industry of fertilizer. They would take cow blood, when we could use cows, and we would turn cow blood into fertilizer. I'm assuming you do the same with humans." "Well, yes. No, not human blood, though. Human blood has other uses, not fertilizer anymore." And the short guy goes, "Like making very good blood sausages." Ahaha! Yeah. I'm gonna choose not to say anything about that. On to the next station. As we see in the next station, the 20-year-old female that was in Sergio's care is carted in upside down into the blood draining room. As Krieg is watching the process, he notices that the throat slitter character, our worker, is distracted talking to another worker in this part of the process. He is taking too long. Marcos is sitting there also watching what's going down, looks at Krieg, looks at this chaos in front of him, distracted worker, and notices the female begins to wake up. She begins to twitch and rattle, and then she is aware of where she's at, freaks out. She freaks out, breaks loose from her bindings, and then falls to the ground. just right above the blood collection tank. Like, it's a scene. The worker notices, he just turns around, grabs the pistol, and kills her right there. Like this has happened before, just doesn't blink an eye. Aw, man, what an inconvenience. Not another one. Shabloop. Krieg is visibly upset. He watches this worker who had just, killed an alive product, lift her up and hang her back up where she belongs and, queep. Craig's just like, get him out here right now. So by name, he pulls the worker off the line out into the hallway where the applicants are watching. He looks at him in the face and what just happened here cannot happen again. That meat died in fear. Now it'll taste bad. Look, you've ruined Sergio's work by taking too long. You are now disciplined in the awful room until you are deemed you can come back to this station. The worker understood and seems to be annoyed at the mention of the awful room. Sounds like a horrible punishment. So this dude is whisked off and they watch the entirety of the blood being drained from the female. Immediately after the blood is drained, her body is dumped into a scalding tank to be boiled. They can see that this tank is filled with other bodies that have just come through. There was a worker standing above the tank, kind of stirring around these bodies in boiling water with a stick, kind of pushing them down as they float back up. Just doot-doot. Oh, a doot-doot. Stir. A doot-doot. And then we move on. Once the bodies are boiled, they are tossed into the de-hairing machine. It is described in the book that Krieg hates this machine in particular because it looks so uncanny and unnatural. These limp, dead bodies are tossed into this spinning machine full of rubber and hair removal things. It doesn't tear the skin off, but it removes all the tiny little hairs all over your body. The hairs that aren't removed in the first place when they first arrive. They are spun at high speeds on like rubber or something, and it's just, it tears the hair right off. And Krieg hates it. He doesn't want to stick around to watch it. He just, kind of boop, moves on. And then now we start going to the awful room.